Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Nathaning, and in this video, I'll be running you guys through the 10 best top laners for patch 12.5. This video will give you an update on the state of the meta and will help you stay on top, pun intended. Make sure you hit that sub button and let's jump right into the content. Our first top lane pick is FIORA. Currently, the top lane meta is shifting quite a bit as opposed to the earlier patches this season. FIORA takes the crown as one of the most popular top laners in high elo. Across all ranks, it's a bit different, but her placement as 9th most picked overall is still pretty impressive. After some massive adjustments to fighter itemization in previous patches, we've been seeing huge shifts all across the board. FIORA has come out hitting harder than ever, as she's well suited for trade-offs and durability for some extra damage. Due to this general change of stats, she's more consistently able to win her 1v1 fights and also put out a ton of split pushing pressure. Not only is she tough to deal with, her entire kit basically makes her an outplaying machine. If you want to learn how to outplay your opponents, make sure you check out our website ProGuides.com. We have an incredible selection of coaches there that can help you take your game to the next level. Aatrox has seen a massive spike in his popularity due to the recent buffs to his Q. The extra damage gives him that slight edge that he needs to properly fit his niche. Once again, he's a strong laner that can exert a ton of kill pressure, especially against foes who lack mobility. With this newfound strength, Aatrox is now a pick that players can once again rely on in a pinch. He was previously blind picked all the time because he was OP. Now he's blind picked because he's consistent and still strong enough to justify it. When things are uncertain, you can almost always expect Aatrox to remain relevant as he's able to play out almost every matchup and at least pick up farm. Teamfights are the most decisive factor in solo queue games, and this is where Aatrox truly shines. The combination of his damage, durability, and disruptive moments of crowd control are all he needs to win a fight for his team. Especially when he can catch a clump of enemies with his Q's sweet spot, his power really comes to show. A quick tip to really play against him is obviously build some healing reduction as soon as you can. He has built-in healing but also heavily benefits from certain items that he builds. The next pick is GAREN. He continues to remain relevant across all ranks. While we mentioned that FIORA held the spot as the most popular high elo top laner, GAREN is the winner overall. In spite of the highest pick rate, he currently holds an impressive 52% win rate. Although he's straightforward and easy, GAREN deals an absurd amount of damage. With Stride Breaker, enemies that allow him to get in range are in for a rough time. The active slow, followed up by his Q and E, are enough to melt through almost any squishy's health bar. At the same time, he's still able to pressure kills against tankier foes as well. A popular purchase on GAREN is currently Mortal Reminder as well. He can quickly apply the higher 60% healing reduction, and the stats that it provides him are invaluable. As you'd expect, it grants him movement speed, making it significantly easier for him to chase down his priority targets. With this ease built-in armor reduction, he's able to secure kills against sustain-reliant bruisers, or even teams backed up by enchanter supports. DARIUS is also seeing more play. The Juggernauts seem to be enjoying these item changes. Squishier enemies make finding those kills easier as they finally have enough damage to pressure solo kills. As one of the most oppressive champions when ahead, DARIUS is beginning to be so much better now that he can quickly and actually kill his lane opponents. Although he still underperforms overall, he's doing quite well in platinum and higher range. With so much raw damage built into his kit, he's able to focus on building items like Deadman's Plate and Force of Nature to supplement him with defensive stats and that extra mobility. Currently, he's often seen using Trinity Force and Sterak's Gauge. Combined with his passive in Conqueror, this provides a very powerful foundation. By taking Legend Tenacity and Unflinching, he's also quickly able to shrug off any crowd control his enemies throw his way. The amount of damage that he's able to access with his core setup allows him to kill anybody in the early to mid game. From there, it's up to the player to snowball, apply kill pressure, and use those leads in a way that leads to victory. You might be surprised to hear that Gangplank is actually very popular in Korea. Although his last buffs were at the very beginning of the season, players have been slowly optimizing him. A popular build in this region is to rush Trinity Force and Mortal Reminder. Aside from the big damage that he gains from these items, he also gets movement speed, a decent amount of it too. With extra movement speed, he's able to easily maneuver around his enemies, whether he's chasing them down himself or trying to run away and buy some time. He can do it with the movement speed advantage. In addition, he's able to apply AoE healing reduction with his barrels. This added utility is huge, especially when enchanters are as popular as they are. In the top lane, it's also very convenient for him that a lot of his lane opponents will naturally rely on built-in sustain. He takes advantage of all the stats the item provides decently well, so there's no worry about inefficient gold spending either. In games that get extended or go late, Gangplank's incredible scaling really begins to shine. Tanks aren't too relevant in the current meta, especially given the fact that FIORA is so dominant right now. However, in cases where she's banned out, there's still fair game. SHEN is still a powerful top laner due to his mad pressure as well as strong laning. If you're built different and aggressive, you can even take Summoner Ignite in place of Teleport. Since his ultimate is basically teleport, he can sacrifice that utility for some extra kill power and also the healing reduction that it grants. While he's a tank, you'll often find SHEN players building items that not only grant durability but also some damage. Since he does like to split in a side lane, having the ability to 1v1 fights is still pretty important to him. While he does like an ultimate for use in combat, he does have respectable damage output with his Q. His passive and W also make him pretty difficult to fight head-on, as he's actually much more durable than he appears. However, what makes him actually the strongest is his powerful early laning phase. Damage from his Q, Grasp of Undying, and Shield Bash along with the shields that he gets from his passive make him nearly impossible to deal with at levels 1 and 2. Another Juggernaut is beginning to see more play in Mordekaiser. Squishier enemies give him an opportunity to find kills as well. His durability and high damage often make him well suited for extended fights in the top lane. While immobile, Mordekaiser can do a lot in a team fight. With his tankiness, damage, and even his ease pull, he can heavily influence the direction of a team fight. However, his strongest tool is obviously his ultimate, which can be used to single out a target, save an ally, or take a team fighting champion out of a fight and put them into an unfavorable 1v1 scenario. Mordekaiser's damage simply cannot be ignored, as he's able to easily take advantage of items like Demonic Embrace and Riftmaker. With these two items alone, Mordekaiser's damage is high enough for him to fight almost anybody, and he can focus on getting tankier with his following purchases. Now we'll focus on a couple of high elo top lane picks. Although Camille isn't performing as well as before, she still holds onto a very high pick rate in elite levels of play. In terms of safety, Camille is arguably one of the best. Her high mobility and the nature of her kit allowed her to play in a variety of different ways. With a built-in shield, as well as her W for poke and sustain, she can avoid committing to longer fights and instead chip away at her opponent slowly. Otherwise, she could go for a short trade with her passive shield and her Q to take advantage of a quick movement speed buff. Like Shen, who we mentioned earlier, Camille's very early game is tough to play against. The fact that she's able to empower her basic attacks with her Q, Grasp, and Shield Bash add a ton of damage. With her very own passive shield, opponents are left with very few options and are almost always left in unfavorable positions if they want to trade back. When ahead, Camille's long-range engage and true damage conversion allow her to cut through literally any target, whether they're a tanky Juggernaut or a vital carry on the enemy team. The other high elo top laner to focus on is Riven. Her win rates are all over the place, but the general trend is that the higher you go, the better she is. A good example to pull from is her ending at the last patch with a 52% win rate in Diamond 2 and higher. In elite levels of play, she's definitely noteworthy. Riven's greatest strength is her high mobility and damage, allowing her to make some flashy game-winning plays in the mid to late game. That said, her laning can also be quite powerful, as she too has a shield. Taking fights with her is difficult. If you're not able to trade back with her initial burst, you're in for a rough time. Enemies that want to poke her out will need to be persistent, as she's able to use her shield off cooldown to pick up farm while also minimizing the damage that she takes. As the game progresses, she'll also pick up some ability haste and also put some extra points into the ability to make it even easier for herself. As a champion who snowballs heavily, Riven also has benefited from the reduced durability found across the board. In addition, the item changes have granted her some extra damage. This is especially great for Riven because more AD converts into a bigger shield, meaning that she wasn't hurt the same way as many other fighters were. Finally, we have Tryndamere. Have you ever been outplayed by a crit? Maybe outplay is the wrong word, but it's all a matter of perspective. Are you the one critting somebody or the victim? Tryndamere is one of the most popular picks in both high and low elo. He's quite the spectacle at the moment as he deals insane damage and has one of the most oppressive ultimates in the game to deal with. He literally does not die, and that means if you're already losing, you're going to be getting tower dove over and over and you're going to have to suffer. High mobility, crit damage, and the ability to ignore your turret makes him incredibly frustrating to deal with as well. Tilt is another factor, and honestly, who doesn't hate getting crit twice at level 2 and instantly dying? In the late game, Tryndamere definitely falls off as a team fighter because crowd control hard counters him. However, that doesn't make him irrelevant as his split pushing becomes more and more impressive. If your team fighting takes too long or doesn't pan out too well, he can quickly make his way into your nexus and end the game by himself. With all that being said, we've concluded our best top laners for patch 12.5. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure you join our Discord as well. You can find the link in the description. And you guys know the drill. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.